Hey, yo, welcome back to the Dugout and Beyond. So this is definitely going to be a shocker. Of course, we have college football has been done for now a few weeks, but we of course have the transfer portal is wide open and people are just flowing in and out of it. Probably a couple hundred players are going through it right now, and definitely not going to be a lot of reported on because it's just so many people and not a lot of big names are going through it at the moment. And if they are, they're most likely have already been done, or they'll definitely be announced in some way. But we have, again, a huge surprise, is Luke Larson, who is 32 years old, going into his 5th year of college. Yeah, all those numbers are right, completely right. But he's also an Australian-born punter, who, of course, didn't even start college here until 2020. So, yeah, this is kind of crazy. So, 2020 pandemic season, he didn't count them. Of course, if you have heard, they basically had the college committee say that if you were in that year, you can probably claim for eligibility for another year, as we all know why it happened. 2020 redshirted. I think he went for like 1 or 2 games in there, didn't count. Then 2022 was his first year, and now up to now in 2025 is going to be his 4th year of eligibility. But yeah, he's been the East Carolina punter since 2020. He's been in 43 games for them in the entire time, and he's been basically their primary punter for the last 3 seasons, and has basically averaged around 40.8 yards a punt, which is second all-time East Carolina punter history, which is just amazing. That's kind of pretty crazy to see that. There's definitely, of course, history being made with punters across college. And yeah, this is kind of crazy that Eastern Carolina also does have 2 other freshman punters who are currently on the roster. Another Australian who I think is actually in his low 20s, who Thomas O'Halloran, and also Ethan Sumfel, who's not Australian, who both players did redshirt during this last season. As we all know, Luke Larson was their main guy, and usually you're not going to switch out guys on punters. I think are one of the least, maybe one of the least likely. That might be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong about being least likely to get injured. Yeah, they're probably one of the most protected. They get hit in the leg, and it's a 15-yard penalty. A lot of times it's another first down for their own team. But yeah, those 2 guys are going to be competing for the starting role going forward for this coming year. But yeah, he didn't even take up football until later in his life, which at this time, most people have been in real jobs, 9-to-5s, or just in the work on life for the last maybe 6-7 years at this point. He didn't start football until 28 years old, which again, that you're most likely, some people apartments, some people houses, some people families, wives, married, all that kind of stuff. This guy's still in college. Maybe there is some money going through. I haven't seen anything about NIL for him at all. But hey, it's not like Eastern Carolina is not a bad school. Not a good school or anything in football. They're pretty well known. Nice school. Pretty cool field. I think it's purple or something like that for ECU. But yeah, he might be wanting to try and get a nice NIL to go to a big time school here along the way, and maybe get the publicity he needs and show that he can do it. 40.8 yards is pretty good. I'm seeing that he can land it within the 20-yard line to 10-yard line most frequently. I think there's only been a couple fair catches in the end zone, which is really good. That brings it automatically to 25. So hey, if he can really control his punts, and for a guy that is legitimately 32 years old, a guy in a full-grown human man body, playing against 18, we have, of course, with Alabama and a couple, I think one other player was 17 years old, who's reclassifying to be freshmen in college when they're supposed to be seniors in high school, playing against a 32-year-old man who should basically kind of have his life somewhat together, most likely at this point, married, family, kid, whatever. You're not really doing your own thing, but to be in college still. And you think that back to people that are 25, 26 years old that are kind of somehow creeping into their 8th year of college. I think there's someone who was in their 8th year that just came back in. This kind of doesn't make you kind of like question like, wow, that actually does make sense and stuff. Being Australian doesn't go to college until 2020, and yeah, keeps on going. But yeah, this is, again, definitely a major shocker, and it kind of would be incredible to see where he goes and kind of see if he can push himself to get to the next level of course, the NFL and get drafted. But yeah, of course, there was a guy who just recently said that he's declaring for a 9 to 5, and he made a LinkedIn and everything. It was kind of funny, but yeah, this is completely opposite. He's 32 and he's going for another year. So, hey, congrats to him on trying to do this. Maybe he'll be making a couple $100,000 this year with what he's doing. Go to a really big time school here down in the SEC. Try and make it big go to the big stage and see what happens in life. So stick around, see what happens. I definitely will be on looking to see where he ends up, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!